What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? We have a situation that's not unique to this region of the world called the United States of America, but the United States of America does seem to have more than its fair share of it. What am I talking about? Dun, dun, dun. Racism. Yeah, fam. Good old American racism is everywhere you go. Look to your left, racism. Look to your right, racism. Look behind you, racism, and racism is always in front of you. America can't seem to get its shit together when it comes to racism. Societies are supposed to move forward, not backwards. I think if everybody was honest, they would say this society consistently moves backwards. Don't get caught up in technology and all of that stuff. The greatest advancement that humans can make is socially. And this country fails over and over and over and over again. It's like there's some type of sick thing that they have where they can't even exist without it. Got to have it. This particular situation involves a black woman sitting inside of her truck. She appears to be in the parking lot of some type of shopping strip. There's a white woman standing in front of her truck, going back and forth with her, talking real hot. And black woman's like, yeah, do something. You ain't doing about standing outside talking that shit. Do something. Just give me a reason to whoop your. So then the white woman's white friend walks up and interjects and says the N-word. Called her the N-word, straight up. And before you know it, a black woman gets out of her car and walks right up to her and mushes her. But first she dares her to say the N-word again, which she does not say. I wonder why. This black woman was towered over her, like looking down on her like she could just hit her in the head like that. In any event, fam, this is why I wanted to cover this story. Why do they feel such a need to use the N-word? Like, there is no go-to word for black people to say about white folks, right? There's no like one word that you know what, I'm gonna use this word and that'll get them, that'll teach them. There's no one word. I think it's fair to say that white folks have done black folks pretty dirty in this country. History says it, not me. It's in the books. Why do they have such a need to say the word? And why is it that when they're accosted by someone who is not afraid of them, they won't say it at all? They hesitate. They refrain. And you could tell they want to really, really say it, but it's like I could see the girl, I could see her thinking. She was saying to herself, well, I really want to say it, but if I say it, it'll feel good. But that ass whooping is gonna cost me. It's gonna cost me. I think I'll go with keeping my mouth shut. I was talking to a Mexican guy last week, and he was hanging out with one of my homeboys, black dude. And black dude put him on the phone, and asked me to explain to him why it's not a cool thing for him to do. We going around saying the N-word. And it's like I told him, look, man, you can say what you want to say. Just don't say it to me. And don't try to find black people to pick on, and don't say it in general to address black people or disparage black people. If you want to call yourself that, go ahead, knock yourself out. You want to call your homeboy, your Mexican homeboy that, go ahead and say it. Same thing with white dudes. Man, y'all want to use the word? Knock yourself out. Just don't call me that word. And, don't use it to generalize black people, and don't try to target a black person using that word. Then we got a problem. You see? But as far as just using the word, it's like calling your homeboy a bitch, man. Oh, that's your homeboy, he ain't mine. That's your brother, your friend, not mine. Plus, if he allow you to call him that, that's on y'all. That's on him. I ain't got nothing to do with it. So, dude was like, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Now you put it like that. I hear what you're saying. Now, I've heard people say, well, black people use the word, why can't I? First of all black people don't use that word. And there are a lot of black people who find that word very offensive. So how can you judge all black people based on the likes of a few or even many? But we're not a monolith. So you got to be very careful if you're going to choose to use that word. I don't care how hood you are, how many black people you grew up around, you're taking a huge risk using that word. I don't understand why people want to use a word that's so offensive to another group of people. Don't understand it. Ironically, a lot of people who like to use that word are offended by the word Washington Redskins. That's why they're changing the name. They've changed the name, I believe, already to just, I think, what do they call them? The Washington, that's it. Washington football team. But in any event, fam, perhaps someone in the comments can explain to me, why do they want to use that word so much? Because there's other words that are out there that people in other groups use to describe each other, and they use with each other. But if someone outside of that group used it, it would be offensive. It's almost like going back to the B word. Like, women have called each other B words all day long. But if a man call a woman a B word, or a woman call a woman the B word, and it's in a way where she's saying it to attack her, then it's gonna be a fight. That they hear that B, it's like, ooh, I don't know, it's about that B word. It's like they just go crazy. So if you know that word offends people, why do you want to use it so much? Somebody explain to me. I have no idea. Ready, set, go.
What the haters talking about?